So but Kris is outside. He's with Alysia. What are you guys getting into? We want to hear all about the food. What are you reviewing? How does it taste? Tell us everything.
You know, first off, I want to review those comments about how I leave the desk and you all say you like it. What's going on with that? Geez, I didn't really feel welcome, but I'm glad to be
Well,
out
you're
here.
welcome here.
That's right. I'm welcome where the food is, and that's where I like to be. We have Richard, who cooked up this food, and we also have a food critic, the Hungry Blackman. So first off, before we get to talking about how food is judged, Richard, tell me about what you cooked up here this morning.
I did some Hollywood fried wings.
Hollywood fried wings. Now, that's pretty general for a man like myself who doesn't know exactly what that means. What is Hollywood style?
Just classic fried wings. The best fried wings you could ever have.
Well, we're going to find out in a minute, but I like the way you're talking. I like the way you're speaking about this and really hyping it up.
I know. All right. Now, Starks, tell us a little bit about how you go about judging this food.
Sure. So fried chicken, for example, has a particular trajectory in America, right? So it's pretty much protein that's battered, that's fried, and technically steamed once it's coated, right? So once it's coated, you want to look at crisp, the outer crispy sort of layer. You want to look at the flavor profile. What seasonings? Is it well seasoned? Are you using herbs and spices? How is it balanced? You don't want it to be polarized. You don't want it to be too salty. And so the coating also matters, if it's an egg, an egg wash, or if it's just coated with the flour. So there's a bunch of, really measurements that you look for fried chicken in particular.
I was going to say a lot of criteria.
That is a lot of criteria. Now, I have to say, for someone like fried chicken, who most of us have probably tried in their life, I can see having a basis on what to rate that for. Have you ever gone into a tasted a food that you've never had before, or do you have to have eaten that food before to actually rate it?
That's a really good question. I think when it comes to food writing and criticism, you look at the historical foundations of food and its origin, right? And then from there it kind of sprawls, right? So fried chicken is overwhelmingly like an African American staple, but guess what? They taught in, Black soldiers taught Koreans how to fry chicken, and now you have Korean fried chicken. So is it fair for a black grandmother to rate a Korean fried chicken spot? Well, that's up to debate. So I think that when you look at how food sort of evolves, you want to have some form of like foundational idea of what you're talking about. So I do think that you should be knowledgeable, but you can sort of go in and out of cultures just knowing the foundations of what cooking principles have. You really don't steer away. No one likes really like dry chicken, right? So if your chicken's dry, I don't care what culture you are, you got a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So I think that some things are a bit ubiquitous and some things are a bit proprietary. So I think when you look at food, if something is incredibly proprietary, so if I'm going to a Oaxacan grandmother and she's making something that's like, whoa, I've never had this before, I would have to learn and sort of taste regionally, right? So like mac and cheese is very regional. So when we were just in like Little Rock, we were in Memphis, the mac and cheese is totally different in Charlotte, totally different in New York. So it's a little different where you're like, well, but guess what? The pasta should be al dente, right? It shouldn't be soft and overboiled and mushy. So some things are ubiquitous and some things are more proprietary.
Well, I'm thinking we should give this a try. What do you think, Kris? Yeah, I know.
All right. So you try, Alysia. I gotta ask Richard. Are you a little nervous about this? What kind of man, the confidence level you have to have us try and rate your chicken?
I've been doing it for a year now, so I'm pretty confident.
Ooh, boy.
It's really good.
Well, I think you got a good review already here. Let me
This
try
is
one.
good.
Are we gonna?
What is the seasoning on this?
It's classic seasoning.
Classic seasoning. Oh, it's a secret.
Everything is in your
Like the
cabinet.
secret sauce, okay?
All right, we better give the Hungry Blackman a chance
I
to indulge
this
as
a try.
well.
Yeah, it's really good. It is pretty salty, but it's really good. It adds to that zest.
All right, so I'm judging this on the crispness, the tenderness, the seasoning.
So for me, the chicken itself, and it's funny that you said salty because it's well seasoned to the point where some folks may find it to be a bit salty because it's so well seasoned. There's like a beautiful citrus undertow that gives this heightening of his pepper. So you taste the black pepper, you taste that citrus. So definitely there's some form of either lemon zest, some lemon flavor, even possibly lemon pepper in there. And then there's sort of like a curveball with garlic just right under that lemon. So you're tasting citrus, you're tasting garlic, you're tasting black pepper. So I'm not trying to reverse engineer his recipe, but once you start tasting that sort of outer layer, what I like about it is that usually chicken is really flavored when it's brined. This chicken has not been brined and it's still giving off this incredible flavor as if it's all the way to the bone. So I think he's doing a really good job with that. I like the fact that is incredibly flavorful through and through without the need of a brine.
What do you think of that review, Richard?
I love it. I love
That's
it.
good. You know what I review? I'd like to add a few points, all valid points, but I'd like to add that if I do not have to cook it, if I do not have to do the dishes, and if I can easily pick it up, those are top factors for me as well. So
I
when
agree.
you rate these foods, do you have like a star system? Do you have a number system? Or is it just strictly a write-on?
I know. Is it like out of 10 or?
So our ranking is a 5, 5 being like our perfect standard, and then if it blows out the window, we go to like ultra rating. So 6 to 10 is like the ultra rating. So our 1 to 5 is like, if you get a 5, that means that you're great. But if you get over a 5, that means that you're outstanding. You know?
Now I know that Detroit, they have some good fried chicken here. So what would you give this?
So when I first tried it, I definitely gave it an ultra because I thought that it was unique. And you're right, Detroit has really great fried chicken. So we gave this, I believe, a solid 6, which was an ultra rating. Could have been higher than that, but a 7, right? So
You've been corrected. It was 7.
Right, it was a 7. So it's super early today, but yeah. So I don't really eat fried chicken at 9 o'clock in the morning, but
Time to change your diet.
right.
That is quite the rating.
But yeah, it definitely is in the ultra rating because like I said, I like the fact that he is not brining it, but it's giving off the flavor as if it's brine, and you can taste that. The chicken is cooked really well because it's so tender. The outer layer is crispy, but it's not to the point where it's invasive with too much batter. So I think that the balance, the flavor, and like she said, it's almost salty, but it's right under there. So I love the fact that he pushed it to the limit, and it's still delicious.
Well, you know how I get Richard to give me more wings? I give his chicken wings an 11. That's what I'm saying, an 11. There you go. That's what it's at.
Delicious. Well done.
Hard to eat a wing with one hand, so I'm going to put this mic down. We're going to get it back to you in the studio so I can get 2 hands on this sucker and finish it off right down to the bone.